my goodness. Yo, what's good, y'all? Surprise you, man. So they're back in another video. It's gonna be DJ Ready too. My bad. Psychology of Gen X, man. Let's go ahead and see what this video about, man. It popped up as a recommended video, and I am curious to see what this is about, man. So if you're a Gen Xer, go ahead and comment down below if you is, and let's get into it.
You know what's strange? We talk endlessly about boomers and millennials. We dissect Gen Z like they're some kind of fascinating new species. But there's this entire generation that just exists in the middle, barely mentioned, almost invisible.
Damn.
Generation X. Born roughly between 1965 and 1980, they're your older coworkers who never complain. Your parents who seem oddly detached sometimes.
He got me
the people
with the
who built
thing.
the internet but don't post about their breakfast. And here's what nobody tells you. Their psychology is probably the most misunderstood of any living generation. They were the first generation of latchkey kids on a massive scale. Picture this. It's 1978, you're 8 years old, and you come home to an empty house because both your parents are working. No smartphone, no Ring cameras, no way for anyone to check if you're okay. You let yourself in, make yourself a snack, do your homework.
You know, it's funny because now people from Gen X that got phones and stuff, they overly make sure you're okay. Now, if you got good parents, overly make sure you're okay
alone
now.
And wait. A study published in the American Journal of Orthopsychiatry found that by 1984, approximately 7 million children between ages 5 and 13 were regularly unsupervised after school. That's an entire generation learning that you can't always count on someone being there. That empty house did more than make them self-reliant. It drilled in the idea that actions have real consequences, ones you can't talk your way out of. When their parents finally showed up, you always knew where you stood.
Tidy up,
the rules hit hard.
What was the last one?
Parents finally showed up. You always knew where you stood. The rules hit hard.
My time. Y'all let me know what y'all
about how you felt.
My bad. I'm talking over it. Y'all let me know what y'all bedtime was. Mine was 9:30 until I grew up and shit.
Or wanted to talk about it. Step out of line and you paid for it right then and there. Psychologically, this created what researchers call a high contingency environment, where actions and outcomes were directly linked without buffer time. Your brain learned to predict consequences in real time, which is why Gen X tends to think 3 steps ahead in ways that baffle younger generations.
Damn.
Gen X grew up watching their parents talk a big game about stability, then turn around and rack up divorce rates through the 70s and 80s.
Damn. Damn, he said them divorces was coming in hot, man. Damn.
They saw people give their all to companies only to get pink slips when the next round of layoffs hit. Everyone told them, work hard, follow the rules, and life will work out. But then the rules just changed right in front of them. So yeah, psychologists might call it defensive pessimism.
I ain't never heard no shit like that. A cognitive strategy where an individual sets low expectations to prepare for failure while what the hell does it say? Here's a worst case individual in worst case scenario mentally prepare for the
But Gen X, they just call it being realistic. It's not that they're cynical exactly. It's more like they built up this emotional armor.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Is it just me, or in school they kind of make life sound boring? Like in a sense of like, hey, yeah, as an adult, yeah, you'll like go to college and then you'll like get a job and then that's it. They don't make life sound fun at all. Like it's just like, all right. And like you said, it's low key technically being realistic, but it's just crazy how when you think about the fact that, man, they don't really make life exciting at all. They just kind of be like, hey, man, go to school, kid, and then you'll go to college, then you'll get a little degree or whatever. Then somebody might hire you and you'll just work for them for a lot of your life until you're like from like, in your 20s to like 60 or something like that. Like, it's just crazy how it just sound boring, but life is a lot more life to it than just, work the job and get the fuck on.
They cross their fingers for good things, but deep down, they expect the rug to get pulled out because honestly, that's what kept happening. And that's a big reason you barely hear them on social media. They grew up in a time when privacy was just normal. When you messed up as a kid, maybe a handful of people knew, and that was that. No phones, no viral videos, just some awkward memories in a basement or a parking lot. The idea of blasting your life out for strangers to see, that doesn't feel exciting to them. It feels risky. It's not about not getting tech. It's about learning.
If you struggle with focus,
that's more accurate.
Might change everything.
Close to the chest. I was looking for a phrase somewhere in there.
Learning early on that the less people know about you, the safer you are. Gen X basically turned irony into a shield. Crack a joke, keep things at arm's length, laugh it off before it stings. You can see exactly where that comes from. They grew up in the shadow of the Cold War when teachers talked about nuclear war like it was just another rainy day.
Crazy.
Duck and cover drills in school as if a desk would save anyone.
Hell yeah, man. Who remembers when like they would do in school where you had code red and they'd be like, I'll turn the lights off and hide in the corner. Like as if the robber is just going to be like, oh, guess there was no school today. I'm like, yeah, it's not like he sees a freaking lot full of cars parked and it ain't no holiday or no shit like that. Oh yeah, let's go in the hallway and go like this when a tornado hit, as if you doing that is gonna stop the tornado from hitting you if it do come by. Like, how is you going like this gonna say? And then the teacher be like, shh, be quiet. Nigga, what the hell? The tornado gonna get louder if I speak? Like, what we doing? Now, the fire alarm was the only logical one as far as, yeah, you get out the damn building. I'm like, oh, well, shut up. You get out the damn building when shit on fire. But other than the fire alarm, that was about the only drill that actually made any type of sense.
Like everything's about to go up in smoke, but also insist you shouldn't worry, you get used to holding two clashing ideas at once, and you learn to keep a little distance, just in case. But here's what's fascinating. Despite all this, Gen X developed a distinctive approach to work that stands out even today. They don't talk about it, they don't post about it, they just do it. This work ethic was forged early through jobs that seem almost archaic now. Paper routes at 5 a.m, bagging groceries, working fast food registers where you had to calculate change in your head when the machine broke. These weren't resume builders.
Nah, shout out to all my fast food workers out there. I worked at Chick-fil-A for 2 months, and then they pat my ass up because, well, they didn't pat my ass up. They said they were gonna bring me back. Oh well, what happened was like I had made a milkshake and a a soda for myself to take home, and well, no, it was a milkshake and a frosted drink, I think it was. And I basically took that shit home because I'm thinking, okay, I'm an employee, and the manager has allowed me to do this before, as far as, oh, you just make your drink when you get off, and it's whatever. So there was some other girl that made me want to pay for it. I didn't pay for it because I had spilled some, and I took it out, and it kind of made me forget about the fact that I had to pay for it. And so it was a different manager that day than the one that let me do it. And basically she was saying that she wasn't going to bring me back until she felt I basically had been punished enough or whatever. And then the other manager called or whatever and was saying, hey, they probably just want you to apologize or whatever. And then I said, I'm sorry right there. That's on me. That's my fault. And then my mom joins the call. And then when my mom joins the call, the manager that said that they want they want an apology or whatever, he was like, well, his apology didn't really sound sincere. And I'm just like, brother, I'm like, what the hell is sincere to you, nigga? Am I supposed to be on my knees going, please, this is all I have. This is my only child. Like, nigga, at the time I was like 16. So I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to go, please let me back. I didn't mean to. I promise I'm not a stealer. I'm not a criminal. Like, I don't know what they expected me to do, bro. But yeah, that was how that situation went. That was a quick little story.
They were raw introductions to the adult world where a 12-year-old could be responsible for delivering news to an entire neighborhood. They watched their parents' generation get destroyed by corporate restructuring, so they never believed in company loyalty, but they're fiercely loyal to their own competence. They can't control whether they'll get laid off, but they can control whether they're the most valuable person in the room when layoffs happen. There's this weird paradox at the core of Gen X psychology. They're simultaneously the most independent generation and the most quietly collaborative. They'll never ask for help, figure it out themselves. Right. Been doing that since they were 8. But if you need help, they'll show up without drama, without a social media post about it. This comes from forming tight bonds with friends out of necessity when parents were absent. And let's talk about their relationship with authority, because
it definitely back then it was easier to communicate because of like there weren't phones and shit like that. So like that was definitely the time where you had to talk to people. You couldn't be this antisocial person who just on their phone doom scrolling, rabbit holing all day. You had to actually go out there and talk to some motherfuckers, man, because like that was the only way you got to know folks.
It's complicated. They respect competence, not titles. If you've earned your position through actual skill, they'll follow you anywhere. If you're just someone with a fancy job title who doesn't know what they're doing, they have zero patience. Gen X questions authority because they watched incompetent authority figures make terrible decisions their entire childhood, from Watergate to Iran-Contra to the fumbled AIDS crisis. They faced serious economic headwinds that their parents' generation hadn't experienced. The youngest Gen Xers graduated college right into the dot-com bubble burst. The oldest ones were hitting their stride when the 2008 financial crisis hit. They've been economically traumatized repeatedly, which is why they're more likely to have multiple income streams. Not because they're entrepreneurial by nature, but because they've learned that nothing lasts.
Y'all let me know if y'all got some side businesses, man, like aside from your job. Cause I'm in school, so I work a part-time job, and I'll do DoorDash a couple times in the week as a way to kind of boost my money up, especially if I didn't spend too much money. It's a quick little pick me up. But y'all let me know if y'all got any side, what's your, like, your main job and your side jobs out there if you got
Gen X tends to struggle with what some researchers have identified as patterns of self-reliance that border on anxiety. They're incredibly capable at handling crisis situations, but that capability often comes from an unwillingness to depend on others. Research in the Journal of Adult Development shows that Gen Xers report lower levels of seeking social support during stressful periods, not because they don't have people they could ask, but because asking feels like admitting defeat. This self-reliance extended to how they processed information. Before the internet, knowledge had a different kind of weight.
I was about to say, also, you get clowned for admitting your struggles now, bro. Like, bro, people will clown you on the internet if you admit your struggles, bro. It's a cold world out there. It's a cold world we live in, man.
Gen X spent hours in libraries, hunting through card catalog drawers for a single book that might contain the answer they needed. Information had a physical cost. It required effort and time. And
knowledge ain't power. Knowledge costs money.
Because of that, they valued what they learned differently. Cognitive psychologists describe this as deeper encoding, where information that requires effort to obtain becomes more permanently integrated into memory. They learn to fix things with their hands because that's what you did when your bike chain slipped or the TV flickered. You didn't call a technician, you flipped the bike upside down, got grease on your hands, and figured it out. This built a mechanical intuition, a belief that with enough patience and a screwdriver, you could master the physical world. And now they're watching their kids grow up in a completely different world.
Yeah, bro, look at all the screens. This is kind of symbolic, though. My man's got drones, TV screen, laptops. Now, all the Gen X will be using this shit, too, though. Don't get it twisted. But I ain't going to hold you. It is crazy to think about how easy it is to get information now. Like, if you want to fix a bike chain or, like, fix a tire or whatever, bro, it's so easy now to just go on YouTube. Funny enough, you're watching on this bit right now. It's crazy that you can literally just go to YouTube and like, oh, how do you do this? How do you do it? Like, you can literally go to the internet and YouTube videos and get a whole visual and a video on how to do some shit. Like, it's actually insane, the progression and evolution of technology over time.
One with helicopter parents and constant supervision and social media documenting everything. They gave their kids the attention they never had, but sometimes they worry they've made them too soft, too dependent, too visible. Because in the Gen X worldview, being visible means being vulnerable. The truth is, Generation X might be the last generation that truly understands what it means to be alone with your thoughts, to be bored, to solve problems without Googling the answer. They're not better than other generations, just different, shaped by a unique moment in history when the old world was dying and the new one hadn't quite been born. They're the bridge generation, and bridges don't get much attention. They're just there, doing the work, holding things together, expecting nothing in return. And maybe that's the most Gen X thing of all, not caring if anyone notices. If this hit home for you, please subscribe. And if you want to support these deep dives, hit that join button.
I ain't gonna hold you, man. Dope video right here, man. Subscribe to what's Psychology Simplified. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, man. Subscribe to him, man. He was pretty informative. It created some good conversation, man. But hey, what do y'all think, man? In the comments down below, just based off of what you heard. Let me know what generation you grew up in. Let me know some of the thoughts you may think of the generations that came after. But yeah, we can have a cool discussion and conversation. But anyway, love and appreciate each and every single one of you guys. And at the end of the day, what can I say? It is what it is. What it's going to be is this certified, legalized, legitimized, classified, Prodigy, U.S. D8 Choice, FDA approved. You know what I'm saying? Coming out here with the content that vigils the bangers time and time again for you guys, doing my thing and doing it well to the best of my ability. Putting out videos every day, so turn on that notification bell. That's all you need to know. And that's the vibe that DJs